Hey there everyone, it's your boy B3, back with another kicking TV show reaction review. Yeah, it's just an anime review and sort of a tokusatsu review. Season 2 of the Ultraman anime. We reviewed Season 1 forever ago when it dropped. And I'm not sure when Season 2 dropped because I didn't hear like any hype around it. I just kind of noticed that it was out, and then I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch it. I'm never really on Netflix. I'm more of a Disney Plus Hulu guy, to be completely honest with you. But, yeah, so I rewatched Season 1 to really remember everything. I remember the manga pretty well, but there were some differences, so I wanted to get them down. And then I watched Season 2. And while Season 1 had some differences, many of them just cosmetic, and that didn't really matter. But there were some in Season 1 that mattered, you know? Like, replacing Red King with Black King was a cosmetic choice, but then killing off the Red King, Black King, who's a reoccurring character, I was like, whoa, okay. Kill off the reoccurring character from the manga in Season 1, that's fine. And then we go to Season 2, and it is completely different. It's paced pretty differently. The animation is better. Because in Season 1, the motion capture is good, but then some of the things around it that aren't motion capture don't seem to move as smoothly. It's much more consistent in Season 2. It looks good. The animation looks really good. And it wasn't bad in Season 1 at all, but it looks better now, which is very nice. And I still don't like Shinjiro's voice actor. He sounds like a high school theater student, which isn't a bad thing. It just, what I mean, I guess, is inexperienced. Everyone else sounds fine. All the other dub actors sound fine, and I am talking about the dub specifically. But then Shinjiro just, he's not that good. The actor's not that good. And also, Season 2 just completely, like almost 100% changes the story. And a lot of the tone of the series changes too. It's a lot more toku-y. It feels a lot more basic toku-y than Season 1 did, because it's nothing like the manga. The story arc that they kind of adapted for Season 2 takes place mostly in New York, and there's like a scene in New York at the beginning, and then like none of it happens in New York. And then a lot of it happens on the same square that a lot of the alien fights happened on in Season 1. And in Season 2, they even remark that that square is a common place for alien stuff to happen. And I think that's just a cost-cutting measure. I think not going to New York was just cost-cutting, because you would have had to make a whole New York city. You had to have an animated, completely new city, and I think they just didn't want to. Especially since they were going to change a bunch anyway, so they just left him in Tokyo or wherever. And Taro gets his powers a completely different way, and there are a lot of completely different characters. Because in this one, Ultraman Taro kind of gets his powers from a device that malfunctions, where in the manga he gets them from straight up drugs. He gets them from alien drugs. And I understand why they wanted to change that detail. I do. Because I think they kind of want this show to be a bit more all ages, even though it can be bloody at times. But I kind of understand why they cut that from like a ratings standpoint and whatnot. But they actually changed a lot more than that. They really did. Dan's brother was nowhere to be found. Ad seems to have been cut out. Because, you know, like when they fight King Joe and stuff, I remember Ad being there, and in this one, when they fought King Joe, that he wasn't there at all. I remember him like getting this buffed Hulk form. And also, you know, a lot of Ad's absence, Dan's brother's absence, a lot less about the Star Cluster Council, and honestly, Windom wasn't there, and that's kind of a small detail that Windom wasn't there. But I really like the look for the manga Windom that Ultra 7 has. It's like if I remember correctly, it's like a transforming motorcycle Windom. It's very cool. And I absolutely missed not seeing it. But you know who also wasn't there? Leo or Astra. Both absent. I feel like they'll probably be in season 3. I'm sure they'll have a season 3 appearance, but I think they just really wanted to focus on Taro. And in the manga, I haven't really seen Taro in much of an Ultraman suit. He's just kind of had a flaming form. I am 2 or 3 volumes behind in the manga, I think, so give me a break there. But yeah, I haven't really seen much of him in a suit in the manga. It's mostly his flame form. And from this one, he's pretty much mostly in the suit because he can't control his flame form at all. Which is fine. I kind of prefer the suit. So I think that's good. I prefer the suit. It looks good. I want a figure of it. Just the whole art style of the manga and the Netflix anime is really good. And I like motion capture. I like 3D motion capture a lot. I like it in the MonsterVerse, I liked it in Shin Godzilla, and I like it here in Ultraman. I think with tokusatsu becoming less and less cost effective and the kaiju and toku genres becoming more and more popular, we're in a kaiju renaissance for sure. And toku seems to be kind of on its way up in a lot of ways as well. I think switching to CG is inevitable, but switching to motion capture kind of keeps the spirit of the style, you know? It really keeps the spirit of the style. You can still get a lot of expression through in motion capture, you know, a lot of physical expression, and I think that's great. So, what are my final thoughts on Season 2 of Ultraman? While the story wasn't as good as the manga, and normally I'm not the manga was better just because it's the manga, blur, blur, blur kind of guy, but they changed a lot, and it felt a lot more basic. It really did. The tone changed a lot, and I'm fine with tonal differences between seasons. That doesn't bother me. It's just Season 1 was far more interesting than Season 2. Whereas in the manga, it kind of just keeps my interest a bit more consistently. It's just they changed so much, they made it more like a basic toku show season. Animation's better, acting is the same quality. It's fine, and part of me is even okay with them changing it a lot, because that means I got to see a different story, you know? I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh, the version on the screen has to be exactly like the one on the page, because if it's exactly like what's on the page, what's the point in watching it? You've already seen that same exact story. I don't want a word-for-word, shot-for-shot recreation. No, I want an adaptation, which is what I got, but Season 1 was like the perfect level of adaptation for me, you know? It changed enough for it to be interesting and not the exact same thing I saw, but it didn't change so much that I was like watching a different show almost. And I feel like Season 2 maybe kind of did that in a way. I don't know. But it still kind of kept the spirit of the manga, and that makes me happy. That I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I think I'm still happy with this adaptation. I still liked the season. Not as good as Season 1 in my opinion, but still a very fun show. And I'll gleefully watch Season 3 if and when it arrives. So that's it. Thank you all once again for your support. I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.